Good. How you doing, Tony? Busy enough. Yep. Nope, not yet. Not much.
That's about the biggest one that we take down.
Keep somebody busy welding.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Looks like we have minutes of our previous meeting.
Make a motion that we accept them.
All in favor? We certainly have a lot of guests tonight. I will remind everybody, this is not a wind meeting. It's not about wind towers. This is a regular meeting of the town board in Parishville for our regular monthly business. Anybody have anything unwind related that they'd like to talk about? Share with the board. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to revisit a moratorium for several reasons.
Right.
Okay.
Back to my question. Is there anything unwind related that anybody'd like to talk to the board about?
How about solar related?
Hey, hold on, just one second. Yes, sir. If you'd state your name, please.
Robert Richards. I live on 1836 Route 77. I have a brook going behind my house and on the side that has sewage flowing in it, and it stinks like a pig pen. And across the brook, I have neighbors that have thrown garbage down the hill, metal roofing down the hill, old garbage boards down the hill, comes down like this, and people are talking about other things that bother them, sites. I live right there, and I have to stare at that, and I have to smell that sewage. I didn't think the village of Parishville was like that. I lived here 40 years, and this is the worst I've ever seen this township. Condemned trailers down here, other property, they can throw their garbage out the window or boards and so on and so forth. What is this? Would you like to live there, something like that? Do you have to hire a lawyer, which I will, and bring a lawsuit against the town, have this nest cleaned up so I don't have to look and smell about it? Can you answer that, sir?
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I will answer that. First of all, this is the first time I've ever heard from you, ever heard your name. I do not know who you are or where you live. No, that's not what the town of Parishville is. I would have to ask you, have you addressed your issues with the code enforcement officer at Parishville?
No.
Okay, that's where you need to start. Does anybody else have anything unrelated that they'd like to discuss with the board? Yes, ma'am.
Johnny, could you just speak up a little bit? We can't hear you very well back there.
Looking for people that have anything to discuss with the board that's not related to wind energy.
Can I say something?
Oh, man. I know I'm gonna regret this, but go ahead.
I am very fortunate to have a yellow trailer in my front yard. And I just want you to let you know that it's nothing to do with me moving out. No, actually, it's the one that the park is going to use up there. So we're going to do some hocus pocus on it, and I'm very excited about it with Carrie and the group and Laura. Actually, I visited Laura tonight, and she says she wants a 500 amp service on it.
Yeah.
500. You're going to appreciate it. So,
That's so we can.
yeah. Okay. It's going to be a fun project, and we're looking for donation at the door on the way out.
Sounds great. Park.
Just over here, sir, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, sir.
Oh, that's fine, I'm
sorry
sorry.
I cut you off.
Oh, no, that's fine, it happens all the time. My name's Will Daly, and I'm here to revisit the idea of a moratorium. And I'd kind of like to, I know we went through this at the last meeting, but I'd like to go through the reasons why we would want to consider that. And they're manifold.
Can I don't want to be rude.
Go right ahead.
We can't vote on a moratorium.
No.
So-
In order to put in a moratorium, what I can describe the process that you have to go through to do that. And I'm going to ask you to go through that process and do that. And right now what I'm going to tell you is why I want you to do that. And I want you to do that not only because the planning board is not ready with a revised wind ordinance for us.
I thought we were going to talk about solar panels.
Well, we're getting there. Now,
I don't
not
want
only,
this is not a meeting to discuss wind issues, everybody, okay? We're going to have plenty of those meetings. We don't have anything new from our planning board since a month ago.
right, they meet on the 8th.
No, wait, this is a regular board meeting. I want to get through this meeting.
Okay.
Regular business.
What I want you to do is revisit your comprehensive plan, okay? I think times have moved forward. It's been quite some time since we've done this. Ordinarily, we review a comprehensive plan every 5 to 10 years. The comprehensive plan guides and directs the land use and development code, okay? The land use and development code sets out all these things, whether we want cemeteries here, schools there, or whatever we want. Now, we update these things from time to time, and that's what we're doing currently. The land use development code doesn't even speak to solar farms, solar installations. Lamb Development's coming through town right now, signing leases to put, it's small 2 megawatt solar farms in. We don't even acknowledge that those things exist. In our initial land use development plan, we didn't acknowledge wind turbines existed. But I think we're getting a little behind the curve here. I think we need to think about this, and we need to get up to speed before all of this stuff overtakes us. So that's what I'm saying. Look at the comprehensive plan, look at your land use and development code, and go from there. Now, there will be a preliminary scoping statement filed very soon. What they're going to do is they're going to go forward to the state and say, okay, this is Parishville, this is what we have, okay? You know what we have. We've all read it. Well, some of us have read it.
Julie, look at this.
Did they file the scoping statement?
May 1st.
Oh, okay, May 1st. Well, it's not May 1st yet.
Right there.
Well, there's no way we can get a moratorium in place before then. I mean, there's a process to go through. You know what it is. You've got to have it as an agenda item. You've got to be able to discuss it. You have to have a law written up that you can vote on, and you have to have a public hearing before the meeting in which you vote on it. So, we are behind the curve on this. What they're going to go to the state with is what we currently have, okay? That's what we got. That's what we're sitting on. We may have hopes that we're going to change this thing. There's no guarantee we will. You can vote it up or down as you will. But they're going to tell the state this is Parishville, this is their comprehensive plan, this is their land use and development plan, and that's where we're at. We're tailored our project to this. So let's step up to the plate here and think about it, and let's get our ducks in a line, otherwise we're going to get our wings shot off.
Anybody else?
Thanks. I'll give you the letter so speaking about it.
I would be happy to have you do that.
I contacted Paul Agresta's office. He's the lawyer that wrote Article 10, and the information that he gave me is in this. Can you tell me? Is in this. So there's some very important information in there.
All right, next up, we're going to move on to our code enforcement and assessor reports. Joe did supply them, he does have out copies of ours.
Will there be more comments from the public? Will there be more, is this the end of the public?
We're not here to discuss the wind project tonight. We will have meetings to do that. This is a regular town board meeting. That's the business that we're moving
Okay, well,
forward.
can I just tell you what's in your packet? And invite the public to help themselves to come with it?
I'll give you a chance at the end of the meeting to tell me what's in the packet. So on to our code enforcement and assessors reports.
I don't have any questions, comments. I make a motion that we accept it.
All in favor? And Jeff. He's buried up there somewhere.
Jeff here?
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. All right. Jeff, you want to go ahead with your water and recreation?
As far as the water system goes, everything is going fine. We are looking into doing some preventative maintenance at the water plant in the near future. I've met with Rod and Mel and looked it over and referred to our town engineer to give us a plan of where to go from. It's just to keep things, get it back to where it should be.
Part of that plan actually includes drilling a new well.
And then I'll move on to park and recreation and going after water. We've been working steady on spring cleanup. We're continuing to work on the new baseball fields. Baseball practice did start last night. We had about 115 kids registered. Plus or minus. I wanted to let the board know that the waterfront director will not be returning this year. So there is an ad in the paper right now for that position that will be there for
Rec director is coming back though? At this time?
I got a maybe. She is currently looking for a full-time job. So it's questionable. I am talking with her, trying to come back. And
Okay.
it's hard. It's a 5-week program, and it's hard to get those people with those.
Right. Well, maybe we should put an ad out also, since she's only giving us a maybe, and then we'll have some backup.
I need to get back in touch with her.
Okay.
Give her something to think about, and then we're gonna kind of discuss it. If that's the case, I will.
Okay.
Jeff is working on informally negotiating with her for both positions if somebody who
I don't have any questions for that. Or, I said Jeff before, sorry. So moved.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? Next up, we have our rec committee report.
Well, thankfully, Joe already talked about it a little bit, so, Joe's gonna help us with our, park. When I say park, it's Parishville Area Recreation Club. We're newly formed this, past fall, but we went ahead and got a 501(c), so we're a non-for-profit, and we cover, youth baseball, youth basketball, learn to skate program, and youth soccer for all of town of Parishville, and that includes Hopkitten children and other kids that want to come and don't have a place to play. So we bought a trailer with monies from the People Project, and it's supposed to be a food truck trailer. It was partially outfitted. Joe's gonna help us finish it off, at least get it usable for this year.
Hey, I'm gonna have this in here help me do.
Oh, okay. The snow boys are gonna help us out there. And, other than that, we're just moving forward with baseball, and around the corner will be youth soccer, so that's all I have.
Motion to accept, carries. Opposed? All right, we do not have anything under new business tonight, and we were gonna be shorthanded. Correspondence received, we did receive a letter from Dank, letting us know that they would be, on a case-by-case basis, reducing tipping fees for communities that are cleaning up what they refer to as zombie properties.
What are those?
Properties that are not taken care of, abandoned properties that the town would, we don't currently have any of that.
I didn't think that's possible to have.
Well, apparently, Danny has. Hey, next we have Patrick's report.
Well, we pretty much finished sweeping, and the highway guys are pretty much building a parking lot down at the beach. I don't know, I'd say it's probably half or 2/3 done. We should be paving George Street up as far as the Hopkitten town line. I'd say about the 2nd or 3rd week in May. And we're gonna be starting some work on the Connor Road, shoulder and culvert work. Other than that, that's about all I got.
You knew the end of that culvert.
Yeah.
And it's kind of washed out on the side of it.
Yeah.
Well, to the point where someone else came back up, so it's supposed to be.
Non-denominational funds.
Do a little shop
There's a washout on the end of Old Fairfield Boston Road. I make a motion on patch course.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? And we're moving on to 14 through 18. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Opposed? See how easy that was. I'd like to say to everybody, I appreciate you coming out, okay? I understand that this group is probably pretty well evenly split between our pro-wind people and our anti-wind people, okay? I do not want, personally, and I do not want to see this board, the planning board, anybody else become part of that divide. Okay, we're all a community here, regardless of what happens in the end. You know, we're all still going to be neighbors, friendly with one another. You know, we're all going to still live in the same community. The board, I can tell you right now, we're waiting for the planning board to come back with a recommendation. From what people have seen from their meetings, the planning board's meetings so far, I think we're doing a pretty good job because the pro-wind people aren't happy with it and the anti-wind people aren't happy with it. That tells me we're riding right down the middle. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. I understand there's a lot of people here tonight, okay? Pro-wind, anti-wind. If you folks would maybe pick somebody, if you want to tell us what you've brought to us tonight in your packets and your information that you've brought to us, to tell us that. We don't need to hear it from every single person in this room, okay? We all have families and dinner waiting for us sometime later tonight too, so we would appreciate you. And sir, if you talk to me after the meeting, I will hook you up with a code enforcement officer so we can start addressing your issue, okay? Okay. Who would like to say something? Gary?
Just a quick request, would you please consider a special board meeting ASAP? I think it's imperative that you have a board meeting, particularly in light of the notice tonight in the North Country Now magazine that Avangrid plans to submit their preliminary scoping statement May 1st. It only gives you 21 days to respond locally to submission. That's, well, your next meeting is well after that. So please consider that, and I strongly would request that you consider a moratorium ASAP, get the process started, as Will mentioned. It's imperative. If you don't have a moratorium, everything is dead in the water. This scoping statement starts the process into high gear, and you need desperately to look at a moratorium, and by doing a special meeting as soon as you can, I think that would be very beneficial.
Gary, what was the date that you said that's in the paper for the fire?
On or about May 1st.
Right. Anybody else have something they'd like to say? Luke, I know you want to tell me what you have in your package.
Okay, I brought you a letter from, Luke Daly, Chapel Hill Road. I brought you a letter from Curtin Law Firm. Our attorney was giving you good reason to do a moratorium and do it very, very soon. If the preliminary scoping statement is submitted to the state, they are operating on the existing laws, which don't really address the size and number of wind turbines that we're looking at now. So I'm hoping that everybody on the board will read that, and I'm hoping, as the other two people have said, we need a moratorium, we need it soon to protect everybody, not just some of us. In your packet are two things to try to help back that up. One is the list of the people who signed moratoriums and pilot petitions as of yesterday. One of them is a Chateauguay, New York report card telling how things operate over there. One is a map that we found on the NYSERDA website that shows that certain parts of the state have been targeted, and that's what I call it, for wind development. Another one's a resolution that supports home rule. I think all of you should, would agree that our towns should have the right to cite our futures instead of bureaucrats from Albany. Our only representation on these Article 10 boards are 2 representatives from our area, and they don't get a vote. And so that's something I think all of us should come together on and demand that we have more say in these. And our town board tonight could throw in with the New York Association of Towns for that. And your town supervisor is here, and I think we've given them that information before. There's another one, will changes to local wind laws remove noise and setback protections for your home or camp. There was a suggestion from Avangrid that camps not be considered residences. We think that's really unfair. Some of our homes we probably qualify as a camp, and I think that no matter how modest a home you live in, that you should have the same rights as someone with a more upscale place. Jefferson County could learn from the tax break for Madison Wind Farm. They were given a pilot position, a payment in lieu of taxes down in Madison County, and then when their pilot expired, they didn't want to pay the regular taxes. They got the tax break for 10 years, and then they didn't want to pay real taxes. There's a thing about Maple Ridge Wind Farm, where when their roads weren't able to handle the traffic to build the turbines, 31-foot wide cranes to bring it in. Well, the 16-foot wide roads became 32 feet wide. Some of us really like the maple trees over our roads, and some of us depend on it or just enjoy carrying on the traditional art of making maple syrup, and that would really wipe out a lot of maple trees for that. Roadside trees, as you know, are the best. Herkimer County residents sue Iberdrola over wind farm. They had noise setback, they had noise limits on there, and it was found 72 decibels. 72 decibels when they measured some of those turbines. And they're the exact same turbines that are recommended for here. The NISA, 470 feet, 6 feet tall. And I think this is, we're not against our neighbors. We want everybody to be protected. Another one, town council reviews 3 sets of wind law revisions. They found in other places where turbines have come in that noise is the issue. Noise, vibration, and not noise you can hear all the time. There's low stuff that really affects some people. We're not making up these stories. We have stories from Michigan, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Ontario, where too quick they moved into wind and then they've regretted it. And we're not trying to beat anybody over the head. We're just giving out information. And then there's places that have 1 mile setbacks to protect their homes and their schools. There's wind turbine noise complaint predictions made easy from a sound acoustics engineer, and we have most of that information out here. You can take it, you can read it, you can learn. And then the final one is noise components that somebody gave us, which is a very simplified look at decibel levels and sound. Thank you, and yeah, I think the most important thing is that we not get into fussing and fighting, that we work together and protect everybody in Hopkinton and Parishville, and have a, thank you.
Hold on one second. Mr. Richards is out there somewhere. I know you brought us up some material. Did you want to tell us what's in your package this evening? Yes. There you are, back there in the corner.
I didn't make
Who put your stuff together, Jim? Who put your stuff together?
Yeah.
wind people.
Oh, okay. We have some wind people here tonight. Did somebody want to tell us what's together in that?
Sure. Scott McDonald, Avangrid. What we did is we put together a packet that showed the science-based information that actually was just highlighted here just a second ago. So we have information on sound, infrasound, we have information on real property, we have information on health and safety. We also have a section that the landowners, one thing of its concern is that the understanding of Article 10, so that's addressed as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Neil?
In the letter I gave you, I called Custer's office. Unlike some things in Albany, you get a real person when you call that number, and so on that letter is the number. You get a real person, and you can get your questions answered. I was at the meeting where the moratorium was discussed, and it seems like the board had a lot of questions and concerns that the siting board will just overrule local law. So I highly, highly suggest that you look at what I put in the letter that I received from that office, but also call that number. I wasn't even put on hold. I immediately got a person, so you don't have to worry about having a long time set aside to get your answers. So the number is right there, and please call and get the answers for yourself.
I'm speaking on my own here. I'm not speaking for...
Your name, sir?
My name is Tom Whitesell. I live right over there in Highland. I'm not speaking for a group because I might get it wrong. There is a group, Concerned Citizens for Rural Preservation, at this point consisting of about 50 members who are making an ongoing concerted effort to inform all the residents of Parishville and Hopkinton about the real ramifications of turning these towns into a 500-foot tall industrial wind energy plant, as has happened in Chattagay and all over northern Clinton County. I believe the first responsibility of public officials is to protect the health and safety as well as financial and property interests of their constituents. This group, Concerned Citizens, is actively, on their own time, with no financial incentive, providing as many people as possible with documented research information about likely industrial wind turbines, real-life experiences from all over the world, the country, and New York State, scientific research and statements from highest-level professionals in acoustics, human physiology, and so on. About 6 years ago, Parishville's and Hopkinton's town boards were handed over 2,000 pages of documentation on the realities of industrial wind farms, which should still be here on record with the town. Since that time, there's been an endless stream of accurate, meaningful material, research, data, all publicly available, which needs to be taken into account in making decisions about allowing an enormous foreign corporation privilege of transforming the community here into a 500-foot tall tower. Surveys have been distributed, the results tallied, looking for public opinion about this. I understand that now one of the leaseholders is starting a petition in support of this industrial wind project going through. I think that no matter how the numbers stack up, the first priority here should be the health and safety of the residents and protecting their natural human rights to live in peace, protect their children, and enjoy such life as is available in the beautiful North Country. While I started out saying that I'm not speaking for anyone else, I have brought over 430 people here with me. I now present Parishville's town officials with over 430 signed petitions requesting the town declare a moratorium on this wind project. 430 signatures and contact information in hard copy to be entered into the public record. These people have been informing themselves, they understand, and they demand their rights. The first thing is to declare a moratorium so that there's time to iron out effective wind law and to help ensure that more of the residents can be properly informed. For one or two officials to believe that a moratorium will serve no purpose or will be denied by the state is denying the residents their right to stand up for themselves. There is no proof that a moratorium will not stand. There is recent historical evidence in New York State that a moratorium can be put into effect, and the people ask, at least these 430, that a moratorium take precedence over other discussions.
Is anybody, how many people was in this place, was alive and lived in Parishville back in about 1954, 53, somewhere in that neighborhood?
I'm Al Ray.
You're right.
No.
A lot of them. Everybody else has, but I'm not else. I worked on it. You think that the Rocket Rivers went through up there and didn't have somebody crying about it, and them dams went up through 5, 6 dams down through there? Do you think the Seaway went through and nobody complained about that? Well, now I'm telling you something, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen here sooner or later. I hope I won't be around, but it has got some young girls and kids around here that's gonna be here. I hope. And you're gonna see the state of New York and the federal government come in here and set right up and come up through and say, hey, okay, boys, we're gonna have all windmills up through here or straight, similar things. And because it did, and I worked in the Seaway, and I worked on the Cary Falls thing. There was all kinds of employees and everybody, all you had people up there. They was cutting trees. We cut acres and acres and acres and acres. And now everybody hollered about it. But it still went through, didn't it? You better believe it. Putman Holly got the job out of West Parishville. And I want to tell you something on the Seaway. I cut every light pole from Waddington right down into Messina. Now the only problem that I got right here now is I say that there is people that's looking up after our waste and our stuff like that. I tell every light pole, and you imagine where the oil and stuff flew out of them transformers and stuff, you know where it went? Went right into the ground. So now, people are working on things like that, and I think it's great, because I knew we was doing wrong when we was doing it, but I wanted the boss. I was working for, well, Gaines and Sherman at that time. And if you people think you're going to stop these windmills, you can stop them tonight. I'm not knocking that. But you're not going to stop them in a little while down the road, in which I say these little girls and kids I see running around here tonight are going to have to live here, and they're going to be told just what to do. So you either get it straightened out right on quick, I would say, whatever you want to do, but it's going to happen. The state and the government is going to tell you what you're going to do. And then you say you're telling a lot to the people. You don't think the Seaway looked after people? I see this woman, so I don't have to take second notion for somebody telling me. This woman held her lap there, her own home. She said she wouldn't sell it. Well, finally come around to, they offered her good money for it. Don't care, I don't want to take it. I don't want it, I want to keep it. Okay? Well, I can't remember the date, but I did remember it one time. The guy said to her, I walked right up and I see him, he had 2 troopers with him. Walked up the door and he comes down the door and he said, hey man, you got till 7 o'clock tomorrow morning to get out of this house. You've got your money if you want it. The troopers, he had the money right there. The troopers knew it. If you want the money for this house right now, you can have it, you're gone. Fine. Because you don't, you're going to be going with them guys in just a few minutes anyway. They started in 2 D8s. She had 5 German Shepherds. Well, God only knows. When them 2 D8s started for that hill, right blade to blade, them dogs couldn't make it. They tried it. They all had their canopies on where the dogs couldn't got no mentally. 3 of them rolled off in front of the dozer, not there. That woman went right out the door, luck would have it, the cops got her and got her out of the road, and boom, the house went home. So don't think that they can't be, think that you can save all your houses. When people are going to put these windmills through, sooner or later, or whatever they are, whatever you want to do, they're going to do it. I'm just telling you 2 instances that I know happened, that I worked on. So, thank you. I just invite you. I know these young kids are going to be involved.
Motion's on the floor, come on.
I have a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? All opposed? Thanks everybody for coming out tonight.
Hey, ever got a hat?
She covered him by the door.
Oh.
I didn't bring the first, Joe.